this is Regal with Trash Panda Politics. So today I wanted to talk about something that is actually quite controversial and topical for that matter, and it is the southern border and illegal immigration. But I'm not going to talk about it in the way that you might think. You see, while I agree with trying to stop illegal immigration, as someone who doesn't live in the southern border states, it's really not something that normally concerns me. However, something recently has changed that, and it's Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Now, I'm certainly not worried about the Mexican military attempting to invade the United States or anything of that nature. That would probably be suicidal of them. But after the invasion of Ukraine by Russian forces, there seemed to be a large increase in immigrants into European nations, which isn't odd in and of itself. However, there was a realization that was made. The realization was that many of these immigrants were either being instructed or at times funneled directly into European nations' borders by a foreign entity in a desperate attempt to overwhelm them with immigrants with varying success. I mean, if you don't believe me, one simply needs to look up the Polish-Belarus border for a perfect example of this. Now, it's fair to say that America doesn't exactly border any hostile nations. Of course, there are lingering issues and an interesting, at times, relationship with Mexico, but I wouldn't necessarily classify it as outright hostile by any means. Now, obviously, when it comes to border security in the United States, the conversation is centered on the southern border, and the sheer diversity of peoples we see currently arriving can be a bit alarming. Now, there's nothing wrong with diversity. The issue with that being is that it can make the process of vetting the group to separate potential immigrants and potential bad actors incredibly more difficult. I personally could care less about Mexicans crossing the border, but when it comes to people who claim to hate the West and then leave their semi-failed war-torn countries or known enemy nations to disrupt the lives of citizens or act as foreign agents within America, I start to care quite a fucking lot. Now, of course, immigration is wonderful and one of the many great things that literally makes America what it is. But when people enter a nation with the sole intent to cause mayhem, under the guise of seeking refuge or getting an education, that person cannot be tolerated, period. I think one underappreciated angle of this issue isn't necessarily the quote-unquote criminals coming in, but the criminals that are getting out. Now, as it currently stands of the recording of this video, both Alejandro Rosales Castillo and Arnoldo Jimenez, who are both on the FBI's top 10 most wanted list for murdering their girlfriend and wife of 24 hours both, respectively, escaped the US and sought refuge in Mexico after crossing the southern border and are currently on the run and free. And that's just the current FBI's top 10 most wanted list. I mean, realistically, there are many more who have made a similar exodus after committing a crime to avoid accountability. I mean, objectively speaking, if you look at the matter and completely remove all of your biases, all feelings, and even all politics from the situation, the solution becomes rather obvious, that there should be a higher level of security on all of our borders in order to safeguard the country and its citizens from potential threats. I really don't see what the issue is with this. I know some people find this as a very controversial statement, but I really don't understand why. I'm not making an argument against immigration, I'm simply making an argument against illegal immigration, and particularly weaponized immigration by hostile nations. I really don't see an argument that one can make for not securing our borders. But if you have one, please let me know. I'd love to hear it. This has been Regal with Trash Panda Politics, signing out.